Good morning out there, or good morning, good evening out there to all my Facebook friends and the like. It's Jonathan Bengal here, and I'm coming to you live for a moment with no makeup, no hair, just kind of all natural. And yes, before you ask if this is a gun, this is actually the bass recorder. You'll see right here the bass recorder of the Recorder family. And many moons ago, my hubby and I learned how to play them. He happens to be a flautist and plays other instruments too. Anyway, so this is like the bass, and there's many more. But yeah, just in case you're asking, I was too lazy to set up my green screen with my normal naked text talk behind me. So I'm sitting here, and the reason why I started broadcasting is I had a phenomenal day. Today was full of mixed meetings and conversations with different people, and I'm finally able to actually sit down and start doing some work. But you won't believe what kind of work I'm doing. I'm actually working on my own business. It's 8 p.m. now, 8:06 p.m., and I'm working finally on my own internal business. I'm actually going through my budget right now. I'm actually taking the time and classifying the transactions. I'm updating all of my financial information because I'm trying to get a grip around what is the total revenue that is coming in, what are my projected costs, my projected cash outflow that I know is going to be coming up here. So I'm actually working on a budget. And so for you entrepreneurs out there that sometimes feel like you're alone and you're having to sit down and like crunch the numbers and enter data and all that stuff, it isn't fun. I happen to enjoy it, but I know for most of us, it isn't fun. And it got me thinking, if you're tired of spending late night hours doing all of your data work and everything else, worrying about where things are, maybe now it's time, believe it or not, to invest in a proactive tax consultant like ourselves. Because what I know is once we make you a client of ours, we tend to offer all of the services that are necessary, such as your bookkeeping, your accounting, your tax prep work, and everything else. But that's not what we're known for. We're known for putting together our clients' ideas and their dreams and saving them hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes year after year. Now, here's the hard thing, though. You see, in planning, it's a projection, it's an estimate, it's not concrete, it's something that we actually cannot touch. The only thing that we can do is truly, honestly, is to put into play all the various strategies that we know for a fact are going to save you money in your taxes. And then what we do is we monitor those results, typically on a monthly basis, if not on a quarterly basis. And we're making sure that the target tax is exactly what we anticipated based on the information that a client originally gives us. And then we tweak it as the months go by to make sure that, in fact, we are going to hit our target. Now, here's the interesting thing about planning. That's exactly it. It's planning. It's an estimation. Sometimes what happens is that to the betterment of our clients, they tend to make more money right away. Let's say they fall into a deal that all of a sudden they bring in an extra 100,000, they bring in an extra 500,000, or whatever the case, or maybe they end up spending more money than anticipated. It changes the outcome of the plan itself. This is why it's so important that our clients, once we produce a plan for them, that they maintain it with us. Because the moment the plan sways because of the actions caused by the owner, let's be real, you guys are running a business. The moment it sways, now we know we've got to adjust it to make sure that we're continuing to make sure that the plan hits its results, and or to remove the anxiety and the fear of not knowing what your tax bill is going to be like at the end of the year. But truth be told, here I am, basically just in front of you guys. I'm working on my own financials, my own books right now. And again, I'm working on my own budget because the reality is I'm actually a little bit nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm nervous about the outcome of everything. And yet at the same time, I know deep down inside that I have to maintain the faith, my faith, the faith that things are going to turn out okay. I have to maintain the faith that I know at the end of the day, I'm still going to be able to support my clients to make sure that they continue to not grossly overpay. and not honor deduct. Because at the end of the day, I repeat for the third time, the government doesn't want our money if you're an entrepreneur. They want us to succeed. And if you need any more evidence of this, look at what's happening right now in Congress. You've got a mixture of ideals about how we're going to handle this virus, how we're going to interact with people, how we're going to send out and support people while we're stuck cooped up in our homes. If you think about it for a moment, government wants us to be successful at the employee level for sure, and most definitely at the entrepreneurship level as well. Here's another thing to keep in mind. When you are self-employed, you're taking all the risk. You're taking the risk to go make a buck. And sometimes during this situation, during this outbreak, during the coronavirus, in all reality, we as business owners don't necessarily have the same safeguards that employees typically have when they're employed by an employer. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes employers are like, cut, get out. See you later, alligators. And then there are some entrepreneurs, employers like myself that are saying, how do I maintain my staff? How do I keep my staff fed? How do I make sure they're paying their mortgages and their rents and their car payments? Well, it boils down to me to make sure that we're doing our best, that I'm doing my best to deliver top-notch services to you guys. So I want to tell you something. My clients are about to get an email tomorrow for a secret webinar that I'm going to host just for my clients. So if you're not a client, you're going to be missing out on this. But if you're a client, you're going to be given an opportunity to join me at a webinar on Friday, this Friday at 2:30 p.m. Arizona time, Pacific time now, I suppose. And we are going to talk about some really great strategies in which to deal with the coronavirus. Strategies that I'm actually working on myself and I'm employing myself. And not only that, though, but the experts that I happen to know are also telling us what to do. So that's what I'm offering to my clients. It's going to be a special engagement with you this Friday. And if you are curious about how you can become a client, let's get naked at nakedtaxtalk.com. Again, let's get naked at nakedtaxtalk.com. And we're going to give you some insights, things like the budgeting now during the crisis, things like how do we adjust our cash flow in the business and even on our personal side, what kind of actions and steps we can take to mitigate some of the damages today. So these are things we're going to talk about with just my clients for right now, exclusive to them, and then maybe, just maybe, we'll open it up to everybody else. But until then, that's my exciting news. So yeah, so anyways, it's been 8 minutes into this wonderful little video. By the way, for some of the people that I've been telling about Naked Tax Talk, been saying, get up there, do something live, get in front of a camera, tell the world how awesome and amazing you are, just like me, and don't be afraid. So if you're watching this, this is what I meant by just getting on here randomly and then just talking about what you guys are hearing, what I can deliver to you. And in my case, it is helping my clients to mitigate the damages of coronavirus utilizing tax law. And by the way, tax law is constantly evolving, and it's evolved so much so that I myself am taking a class by my best friend Tom and Kevin, who are going to be hosting a specialized class just for us EAs and CPAs, how to further guide us through this new evolving tax law that is being proposed by Congress. So that I'm looking forward to. Again, all at the service of my clients and even for you guys out there, because I don't know about you, but I like to think that I can take very complex concepts and distill them down into a level in which we can all understand. Because here's the truth. IRS lingo is so freaking difficult. I mean, I don't even know, like half the time, right? It feels like section what? So the thing is I like to take that, distill it down into something we can all understand. Last but not least, here's my final update. I met today with my publisher, Dee Collins of Success Creation Academy, and we are in the final steps now of editing my book, which I'm super, super excited about, The ABCs of Deductions, an Entrepreneur's Guide to Write-Offs. And we will be launching that, I believe, in the next month or so. So please look out for that. I am going to look for volunteer readers who want to just quickly give me some reviews and to read it. I'm looking for people who would love to help me to cross-pollinate and to tell the world about this cool little pocketbook. It's a pocketbook. It's not very much. It's, I believe, 4,000 words or so, give or take. And the objective of the book is not to be boring, but instead to tell you stories through each letter, through each write-off. And so I'm looking forward to that. So with that in mind, I just want to share with the world that it's 8:15 now. But before this, I was working on my own budget, my own cash flow, my own everything for my business. Because here's the truth. When you're self-employed, it's important to not forget about your business. Remember that it is also a breathing, living being. So much so that the Supreme Court has ruled that companies have and are like personhoods. So my company, JB and Naked Tax Talk, are requiring a little bit of daddy time with their daddy because my son is 18 years old. JB Financial just turned 18, and I've got a nice little 11-month-old on my hands, and that's Naked Tax Talk. And both of my kids right now, we're taking care of them. I'm getting them set up, and so tomorrow they can both have an amazing day at school. So these are my babies, and many of you already know them. I just happen to be the wonderful dad. And so, yeah, so there you have it. So your children, your businesses might be getting hungry, and we got to make sure we feed them. And we also don't want them to wither away. So we also need to think of ways to keep them in the forefront of people's minds. And last but not least, Uncle Sam wants to make sure that they're fed and they're taken care of too. So with that in mind, I'm Jonathan Bengal. If you'd like to know more about how we can position yourself to have more cash in your pocket, especially through this time, let's get naked at nakedtaxtalk.com. Last but not least, I said it already, but last but not least, tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. here on my channel, I'm going to be entering I'm going to be interviewing Seth Appel, founder of Bisbee Roasters. Bisbee Roasters, who is a phenomenal gentleman. And I met him in 2004 when I started my company, JB Financial. He was my first corporate client. And him and I were going to talk about those good old days and see what he's up to now and the lovely product that he is making to make sure that you guys all have fresh coffee in your hands, especially now that we're required to stay at home for many of us. And so he wants to bring the notion of the espresso to express yourself in your home while you sip on coffee and maybe wine. So just saying. All right. Until then, I hope you guys have a great and amazing day. And I'll talk to you guys later on. And toodles noodles for now. So toodles noodles for now. Down and in broadcast. Here we go. Ending.